In the last few years, it seems that people have become more politically aware and more politically educated. And I mean, the stuff that has happened in the last few years definitely have forced a lot of people to reevaluate their beliefs and political affiliation. It's almost becoming unpopular to be someone who is oblivious to the happenings of the world. Kinda. Take me, for example, right? I grew up relatively oblivious to politics and stuff like it. And only recently, in my old age of 22 years old, have I taken the time to actually learn about stuff like capitalism, socialism, imperialism, and even though where I come from, we do learn about colonialism, it wasn't until recently that I actually paid attention to it. You know what I mean? And no doubt, the reason I and so many others became interested about learning all of this is due to the shit show that has unfolded in the last 4 years. But even so, up until recently, I still did not have a particular political leaning. I'm what the streets call a centrist. But that of course changed, all because of a video game.
Ain't no fucking way!
Now that seems outrageous, I know, but this game taught me the true meaning of class struggle and what it means to live in a capitalist bourgeois system where my livelihood was out of my control and how the elite continues to live off of my labor. Now you're thinking, what might that game be, you know? Is it a game with a heavy story that details the struggles of the common folk? Is it a game that teaches about the oppressive nature of the capitalist system? Is it a game that portrays socialism in its true form without capitalistic propaganda? Nope! None of that! It's actually gacha games, baby! I know this sounds insane to any regular person, but it's something that has always irked me, you know? Because the type of stuff that these games do always gets a free pass. Because anime! And I've been playing this genre of games since FGO came out. See, the game that really broke the camel's back for me is Honkai Star Rail. And I have a love-hate-love relationship with this game. And it's mostly got to do with the gacha mechanic itself and the problem that spawns from it. But there are still people who just, don't get it. Things like power creep and fan service are not isolated or individual issues of some of these games, but rather they are the lifeblood of these games. They are part of the mechanism that move these games and are the main contributor to the bloated revenue generated by these companies. For example, power creep is something that they put in this game and other games too, but in this game it's less of a natural result of newer characters being better because the game itself is evolving, but rather a conscious effort to make older characters just unusable so that you are pressured to spend money or spend an unhealthy amount of time on the game. Now a huge portion of the player base, Mossad agents included, will say to just pull better or plan your pulls, or some of the cope bullshit that they love to say. But the thing is, in other free-to-play non-gacha games, no matter how pressured you are by the game devs or the community or the game itself to spend money, you are never actually missing out on anything by not spending money. Like, you can still play Fortnite and be good in Fortnite even if you didn't buy the battle pass. Because in non-gacha games, purchasable items are usually cosmetics, skins, and stuff like that, right? That don't have a significant impact on gameplay or the gameplay experience. I mean, at least not anymore. And no, just because a gun skin from Call of Duty or Apex has a different iron sight does not create a significant enough change in experience. But for gacha games, it's different, because the characters that you are spending money or time on is the experience. It's the game. You have to have the characters. Otherwise, at best, you are missing out on a few characters, or at worst, you are playing a different game than other people. Take me for example, right? I did not play for a majority of Honkai Star Rail version 3.0. Because life do be lifing sometimes. Which means I missed out almost the entire new character banners. Like almost all of them. I am missing out on an entire new class of characters. I am basically playing the 2.0 version of the game in 3.0. And now I know my case is an extreme one, and HSR itself is an extreme example, but the point still remains that if you don't spend Israel amount of money or David Goggins amounts of time in most of these games, you are technically locked out of the main content of the game, because new characters brings new mechanic or new playstyles. Again, the main appeal and gameplay of these games comes from the characters. So essentially, a free-to-play player is playing a different game compared to the median paying player who themselves are playing a different game compared to the elite bourgeois whale deep-pocketed players. And then you have the character designs themselves, right? People within the community will argue day and night about which games have more Gunner or Sharia compliant designs, completely missing the point that the characters are designed to maximize profits. And since the Gunner demographic, for whatever reason, tend to be the highest spender, the designs will cater to them. Again, people have this weird tribalistic way of thinking where they think, oh, my favorite game that doesn't do this weird shit, or oh, but this game does it on male characters. Reverse 1999 doesn't do it. It's the best game ever. Honestly, I've seen more people talk about that game than actually playing it. But they're all the same! They're all the same, you dumb fucks! They're gacha games! They're all the same! They are all the same profit-maxing slop generator for character designs. And every single time, all of you will buy into it. Like the good little Gunner slop consumer that you are. Motherfuckers on here and Zwitter, that will be X plus Twitter, will be like, I wish they could give us pity at a lower pull count, or, we should get rid of 50/50s. You know what we should do instead? Get rid of the gacha mechanic itself, you stupid gambling addicted bitch! Some of you are arguing which gacha games gives you more free shit, which, I mean, it's great. No complaints there, but you guys are arguing which casinos gives you more free cookies. Like, you guys are constantly making the argument and the comparison between which is better, trash or garbage, while completely ignoring the fact that they are charging you 50 imperial dollars a character on a good day. $50 or your time worth 50 for a core component of the game. For 50 bucks, you getting a whole bundle on Fortnite, maybe even two. The gacha game player base are the only group of people insane enough to glaze a game that charges Battlefield 6 money for one waifu or husbando. It does not help that the community itself is filled with people who are either experiencing psychosis and bootlickers who think that the multi-billion-dollar corporation gives a shit what they have to say on the fascist propaganda app. Then you also have the Israeli paid Mossad agents saying, how this gacha game is better than the other one. Guys, I'm excited for this new gacha game. People just need to have better self-control. Guys, just plan your polls, because this new character is going to be so beneficial for you. Like, this shit is like the New York Stock Exchange or some shit. And here is the part that gave me this awakening type shit, is that some people genuinely think and believe that they could somehow reform this predatory and wealth extracting mechanism, much like capitalism in its purest cocaine-fueled form. And no, you just can't. Not in any meaningful way, that is. Because everything is made to ensure maximum amounts of profit can be made. And sure, they might budge a little on certain issues, but most of the well-meaning people don't spend that much money to begin with. And these capitalists who owns the company don't give a shit, because they're not losing money. And much like the American democracy, they only listen to you if you give them enough money. On a side note, it's also probably the reason that they always insist on releasing their games on mobile, because logically speaking, right, releasing on mobile just tanks the potential things that they can do with the game, because they still have to make the game somewhat playable on a 5-year-old Android phone so that a chud from Southeast Asia can still play the game and spend money on the game. But at the same time, it's also counterproductive because the size and the storage requirement of these games is starting to creep up on, you know, games like Call of Duty, where it's almost 200 gigabytes. So like, what's the point of releasing it on mobile? The worst part of it is that they know that anime and gacha fans are easily entertained or satisfied, or that a lot of them, due to their material conditions, find comfort and refuge in anime characters. and create somewhat of a pseudo-parasocial relationship to the characters and the world of these games. Because it's an opioid of the masses in the modern day to escape the harsh reality of life in this capitalistic system. Take that, Karl Marx! You didn't see that one coming, did you? I'm joking. Maybe. And so they exploit these things to extract as much value from you. Everything is designed to keep you hooked on the game. And in a way, it's actually worse than gambling. Because with gacha games, people can come up with more excuse for their addiction or attachment, and they can also rationalize it. And all of it is not inherently wrong, because sometimes, yeah, it does bring comfort. But it's just people don't like it when you point out the inherent issues with their favorite thing or the thing that brings them comfort. In this case, the inherent predatory nature of gacha games that takes advantage and exploits people's weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So here's the thing. From my point of view, if you want to see stuff like overt sexualization of characters or power creep to go away, you must be for the abolishment of the gacha mechanic itself. Because so long as the gacha mechanic exists, these companies will continue to find different ways to exploit you, just so you could spend more money on their product. Because they will always exploit your tendency to be parasocial, and they know you guys have heavy FOMO, so they will always take advantage of that. And I also don't know about you guys, but a game that doesn't have a gambling mechanic like the gacha mechanic is overall a lot more fun to play. And because I know what I'm paying for, I am actually more willing to spend money on a game. Because I am getting what I paid for, with no chances of getting anything else that I don't want. Or, worse, not getting what I actually wanted. So please help us, Mao Zedong! Get rid of these bourgeois game devs who only know how to exploit the average gooning-minded anime fan. These devs know that the players are easily controlled with attractive characters or big damage numbers. Please help us, Xi Jinping, and abolish the gacha system and replace it with a Fortnite item store. I promise we will still spend money on the games and help China's economy so that it can finally start transitioning into socialism, so on and so forth. I mean, look, these new games that are coming out are doing it and getting rid of the gacha system, so it's possible. It's possible. So please, Mr. Xi Jinping, do it.